She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about a feature.
Okay, so please ignore the way I look, but I'm gonna tell you the story about how I fell off yesterday and had to go to the ER. Basically, we were having a great lesson, kind of. We were a bit slow, but what's new? It was a bit spooky, and every time I would jump down the line, he would stop and start looking out the window. And I was like, okay. And I was fine with that. I got him through it. And I thought nothing of it every time after line. I was like, okay. I wrote him through it. That's fine. And then I decided, okay, let's redo this lovely line. So I redid it, and then we were cantering past the door. The gator was like my trainer, my other trainer. So the gator driving past, we were like going around. He saw it, like turned and dropped his shoulder, and I fell off the side head first. We weren't 100% sure where I landed because nobody really saw it, but here's a picture of the dirt. Definitely was not great. Laid on the floor for about a minute or two, not responding. I was awake, but I was not responding. My trainer and my mom thought I was out cold. I felt like I was responding, but based on the fact that they both didn't hear me and I felt like I was screaming, makes me think I wasn't. That was great. But I hit my head and stuff. I'm gonna try to get pictures of the bruises. But yeah. And then once they got there, I sat up. My trainer was like, do you remember your name? Do you remember your pony's name? Do you remember your mom's name? And I was like, yeah. Do you remember where you are? Yes. All that stuff. And then I got back on with a concussion. And mind you, we didn't know I had a concussion at the time. But I did have a concussion. And then got back on, flatted around a little bit more, and then jumped that line again twice. And then I was there for like 45 minutes to an hour. My head was pounding. I felt like I was going to throw out, but I didn't throw up. And I was talking to a girl at the barn named Lizzie, and she was like, you couldn't see straight? And I was like, no. And she's like, you probably have a concussion. And I was like, great. So after we got done there, my mom calls my stepdad, and he's like, might as well take her into the hospital. I was like, great. So we got to the hospital. There was no parking. Here's a picture of the emergency room. But there was absolutely zero parking, which is lovely. And then it took like an hour or two to even get seen. Like, we got seen, but like to get a room. And then they were like, so how'd you fall? And I was like, yeah. They were like, cool. And